how below 100% were you going on 3 or 4 days rest in the Pac-12?
I'd say it wasn't really. I wasn't really below that 100% because we did a lot of work during the week to make sure that my arm was ready and stuff. And I mean, yeah, it was less rest, but we had done that before. I mean, it's the same thing kind of as throwing out of the pen back-to-back days, except just less bulk. And so, I mean, I don't think I was any less percent wise. I mean, yeah.
You just had a team that was getting on you.
Yeah, I'd say with just playing them again, I mean, they went back to the tape and they realized how we were attacking, and I wasn't getting the ball down enough to get guys out, and that was basically just what hurt me.
Well, that outing, and then I think the one at Stanford, there was like one big inning where it seemed like with 2 outs, it's just batter after batter after batter. How do you try to break up that string?
I think the big thing is kind of what you just said, is just being able to get that third out. I think that's kind of been something that has been getting me the last couple outings, and I think just the ability to get the first 2 outs needs to be the same like intensity to get that third out.
Getting this assignment to start for the team in a regional like this? What's your approach?
Well, we actually don't know who's going yet. I mean, we're still looking at it because we obviously have a lot of time and we're weighing our options and we're looking over film and whatnot to who's going to start. So we aren't sure exactly who's going yet.
So let's say you're going to start at some point. How do you approach a regional?
I mean, I had the opportunity to go to one my freshman year when I was at Nevada, and I did not get the pitch as well. But I also prepared myself to pitch because you use everybody in the regional, obviously, and so I think it's just treating it like any other game. I mean, everybody's just as good to be in that regional, and they all earned it. So I think just kind of looking at it like any other game, whether it's a Friday game, Tuesday game, whatever. I've thrown on bullpen game. I think just kind of having that same mentality to attack and get people out and win the game.
You tend to throw over a decent amount. And with TCU being a team that's stolen 100-something bases and whatnot, how do you try to use that, and then also maybe the pitch clock to throw off that run game?
I think controlling the run game is a big deal. I mean, kind of mixing in your timings when you're on the mound. If you're not going to pitch as well. I mean, just kind of mixing that up to where you don't get caught in a pattern. I think it's a big deal. I mean, they have a lot of stolen bases on the year, so being able to control them is going to be a big deal for us because it just keeps them off of scoring position.
Have you ever noticed maybe a hitter or someone over at first looking at the pitch clock, wondering when is he going to throw?
I mean, for me, it's probably harder for me to see that. I guess. I mean, as a hitter's sake, looking at it, I don't know. I mean, I think they just kind of are trying to see when I'm going to throw in the box and kind of get a timing that way instead of guessing when the pitch clock's coming.
You have the best strikeout to walk ratio on the team. Is there such a thing as throwing too many strikes or too many balls over the plate?
I don't think so. I mean, because there's a lot of ways that hitters can get themselves out. I mean, so I think just giving a chance to kind of throw strikes and allow them to beat themselves is you have a lot better chance of getting outs than when you're trying to get them to chase.
Sure. If you look at those 2 innings that we were talking about before, the one against Stanford, you weren't falling behind guys a lot. Do you think maybe you're becoming a little too predictable in those situations? You're just missing spots.
Yeah, I think it was more of missing spots, and then if it was predictable at all, it was just probably because if we were throwing back-to-back pitches, we just weren't being smart with how we were throwing them. So I was either hanging them or I was getting them too much over the plate, where it was a count where we didn't need to do that. We could go a little more off the plate and get a swing, or we could raise an eyesight to set up another pitch or something like that. So I think that was the main thing for me.
And what ways do you try to support the guys in the bullpen?
I think just starting off strong. I think just kind of setting the tone in the game, and then like having them come in to where they can feel comfortable because the game's set up to where they have success. I think that's the main thing for me. I mean, as being out the first guy out, I think it's just a big deal to kind of just set the tone on the pitching staff, and then allow the hitters to obviously get their hacks off because we're going to hit no matter what, and so it just makes it a lot more comfortable for the guys to come out of the pen and continue the game.
Chris Barraza's had some ups and downs this year. He came to you guys big way. They had a clean outing against Oregon as well in the Pac-12 tournament. What impresses you about his ability to just kind of bounce back?
I mean, me and him are really close, so we kind of talk about a lot of that stuff off the field and just kind of keeping his mindset right. I mean, because you obviously have ups and downs throughout the season all the time, and I just think him kind of staying on his path and believing in himself has been a big thing, and it's shown obviously lately that he's been able to do that.
Over the final 8 games, I believe you guys allowed 5 runs or fewer in 6 of them. Do you think pitching staff as a whole is kind of pitching at its best of the season heading into this tournament?
Yeah, I'd say so, and I'd say that's a very good positive to have going into the regional and whatnot. I mean, I think our approaches are still the same. We're just executing pitches better. That's basically the main thing. We left some balls up throughout the beginning of the season and whatnot, and that was kind of what hurt us. And just the confidence with always knowing that our hitting is going to put up runs and whatnot has helped us a lot with being able to come out and pitch and just attack the zone.
The huddle that you guys do now, the whole team huddle before the game, what do you think that accomplishes?
I just think it's a camaraderie. It's kind of just like a bond. I mean, we split it up to where we kind of had pitchers doing their own stuff and hitters doing their own stuff, and we did that the last game of the Stanford series, and I think that it just kind of brought our team together to another level. I mean, you always have the split sides of pitching and hitting, but just being able to split that time a little more and be more of a team aspect that's on the field as well, I think it was a big deal just to kind of bring us together and kind of find that meaning for what we all want again.
What do you guys talk about?
We just share kind of stuff to keep us loose, really. I mean, and sometimes it's some funny story or something like that, or we have somebody that just like has some motivational thing to say, and we always end it with what time is it, game time, who, and stuff like that. So I mean, it's just really whatever we feel like saying that day, and it's just that little time together is just a big bond moment.
How do you feel physically at this point in the season?
I mean, I feel good. I mean, I trust my trainer, my stuff like that. We have Paul who does all the massages and stuff for us. I mean, I trust our guys to get us right, and as long as we stay on the plan, then really it's not really set up for us to feel worse or anything like that. So I mean, it's just at this point of the season, it's just kind of grinding it out and figuring out the best way to help the team win.